Film it.
Okay, this is the final product of the Mars base. It has various elements, and it could, if scaled up, and if some parts were made real instead of fake, it would be able to support human life on Mars. Yeah. So to do that, we have human habitations first. So this would be living quarters for people. Radiation shielded, because Mars does not have a magnetosphere, so it would not block radiation, so it would be radiation shielded. And then for humans to be able to breathe, we have an electrolysis cell here, which would be able to turn water into hydrogen and oxygen, and so the humans are able to breathe the oxygen, and then the hydrogen can be used for chemical reactions otherwise, which I didn't put into this project. But then where do you get water on Mars? You get it from ice. There's ice on Mars, and so humans could go excavate the ice and then melt the ice. So this is an ice melter. You would put in the ice, and then you put in the ice, and then it melts, and then it purifies it, and then it gets transferred in, and you can be used for farming. We have a farm here to feed humans. Irrigation for the farm, and then also drinking water for the humans, and turn it into oxygen for humans to breathe. Yeah, and then we have a battery, good old lead acid battery, as a power supply, power storage as well, and solar panels to feed the power. And that would power the electrolysis cell and heating for the ice melter and heating for the humans. Everything electric. So now for a demo of how it works. On the side here, we have manual pumps. We have a big manual pump. This one's for filling and draining the electrolysis cell. It creates suction when you pull it, or pressure when you press it in, and I have check valves so that it's only pressure or only suction. And that either sucks electrolyte into the cell or pushes it out. The smaller pump is for pumping water from the ice melter, either to the farm for irrigation or to refill the electrolyte storage for the electrolysis cell, which is down here in a beaker. So there's two tubes that go into that beaker. One of them comes from the ice melter pump, so you can refill it with water, and the other one comes up into the electrolysis cell up here. So when you create suction in the cell, the electrolyte simply gets sucked into the cell, and then you can turn it on and do some electrolysis. So and then there's two switches on the back here, one for the electrolysis cell and one for the ice melter. So I'm just gonna turn the ice melter on. You won't be able to notice anything, but it will warm up. So while it warms up, we can do a demo of the electrolysis. So let me just see what the pump is set to. So right now it's set for pushing electrolyte out of the cell. So I will just open and close some valves here. Ta-da! Now it's set for pulling into the cell. So is it focused there? All right. So I simply pour water into the cell. Well, this isn't water. This is a solution of potassium hydroxide, concentrated potassium hydroxide. Oh, it's siphoning out. Hold on. There we go. Full of water, and then we hit the power switch and electrolysis. Bubbles start to form on the electrodes. I'm not sure if you can actually see that. Can you see it in the video? Yeah, you can. So on one side, let's focus there. On one side, that's hydrogen. On the right side, it's hydrogen, and on the left side, it's oxygen. And this is real, no fake news. This is chemical reactions happening here. And so we can leave that generating oxygen for humans in the Mars base, and hydrogen for whatever other purposes that they would need. And then if our test subject here, my dad, who's filming, will feel the ice melter and confirm that it is indeed warm.
It is lukewarm.
Okay.
So why did you use that solution?
What solution? The potassium hydroxide? We use the potassium hydroxide because it does not react with nickel. It is very basic. It does not react with nickel. And so it can be used in the electrolysis cell. We have nickel electrodes. And so it doesn't corrode the nickel, and the nickel takes no part in the reaction. And so it's purely splitting the water apart. No side reactions happen, which is not the case for a lot of electrolytic cells.
So this can run forever?
This can run forever as long as you supply more water when it runs out. And assuming you don't have any potassium hydroxide loss, which in practice it'll probably, I don't know, leak out or get stuck in the bottom of a pipe or something like that. But it'll use very little potassium hydroxide, so people on Mars will just take some potassium hydroxide with them, or maybe they'll be able to make some once they arrive there. But if they just take some potassium hydroxide, it'll last them a very, 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 very long time. Theoretically, up to infinity years. But anyways, yeah, creating hydrogen and oxygen. Ice melting now. So, I have a bowl of ice, which is our simulated Mars ice. It doesn't actually have, Mars ice would have dirt in it. So I would need to put a filter in there as well, but I did not do that because I have kitchen ice. But the ice melts.